Today we're going to go over how to use a Bunsen burner.
Before we get started, it is important that you take note of a few fire safety practices. First, you should take a minute to locate the nearest fire extinguisher, fire blanket, water faucet, and emergency shower if your lab is equipped with one. Also, be mindful of the stop, drop, and roll technique.
Whoa, that was a close one. Above all, fire safety starts with prevention. Our lab manual mentions to pull back hair if you have long hair. My hair is pulled back today, so I don't have to worry about that. It also mentions to tie or tuck in dangling strings. As you can see, I don't have any strings, so I don't have to worry about that either. It does mention scarves though. Although my scarf is pretty short, if I lean over the fire, it could be a potential hazard. So I'm going to take off my scarf. If you're wearing long sleeves, it also might be a good idea to push those back. If your Bunsen burner is on, you need to stay close to its proximity. You do not want to leave your Bunsen burner on if you were to walk away. If you're to walk away, make sure to ask someone else if they can take over. If they can't take over, make sure to turn off your Bunsen burner. To turn on your Bunsen burner, you turn on the gas like that, and to turn it off, it's perpendicular.
If you do not have matches available in your lab, it is important to familiarize yourself with the striker tool. You can apply downward pressure with your thumb in a striking movement.
It's important to know the structural parts of a Bunsen burner. This long piece right here is the hose. This is the gas inlet, and this is considered a gas inlet as well. You're going to take the hose and push it into the gas inlet, or kind of twist it, I should say. This right here is the base of the Bunsen burner. This part right here is the needle valve. The needle valve controls the height of the flame by controlling the amount of gas that's coming in. This here is the air port. Air ports regulate the amount of air coming into the Bunsen burner. This is the barrel, this long piece right here. For safety purposes, only open your needle valve about 1/4 to 1/2 of a turn, but not all of the way. Also, only have your air port open a little bit. Turn the handle of the gas so that it is parallel with the hose. Quickly grab your striker and light the Bunsen burner. If you hold the striker too far from the barrel, it will make it difficult to light. If you see here, it is a little bit high. When I mean high, I mean long-wise. So we're going to adjust the needle valve. We want an inner blue cone and a clear blue flame. So we're going to adjust the air port. And we're opening the air port to get more oxygen so we can get a better cone. That's pretty good right there. Now, if there's a loud flame or it keeps blowing out, that means that there's too much oxygen and the air port needs to be closed. But if there's a weak flame without an inner cone, it has too little oxygen and the air port needs to be opened more. And again, to raise or lower the flame, you adjust the needle valve. To turn off your Bunsen burner, make sure to have the gas valve perpendicular to the hose. So here's a little test for us, the needle valve and the air ports. Do you remember what a needle valve does? If you remember, it can raise or lower the flame. So, if the needle valve is open too much, what's going to happen? Well, because it adjusts the height, it's going to have a flame that is too high. If the needle valve is adjusted just right, you're going to have a good flame, which means it has a good height. So, if a needle valve is closed too much, what's going to happen? Well, it'll blow out. You'll have a low flame. Air port. Do you remember what that does? If you recall, it controls the amount of air. If the air port is open to too much, you might have a loud flame or a flame that will keep blowing out. that means that you have too much oxygen. That is, if the air port is open too much. If the air port is adjusted just right, well, you're going to have a strong flame. That means you're going to have a good inner cone. And now, if the air port is closed too much, what do you think will happen? Well, you'll have a weak flame without an inner cone. If the air port is closed too much, that means that there's too little oxygen.